What's up, everybody? So this is one of my favorite topics to talk about, and that is travel essentials. Today we're going to talk about my must-bring items on an international flight. Before we get started, this is going to be a two-part video. Lacey's actually going to share her essential travel items for international flights as well, so that way you guys kind of get both sides and both perspectives, so stay tuned for that. Okay, I'm going to try to put all these items in different categories. The first category we're going to talk about are bags. Now, as far as bags go, they kind of change depending on which trip we're taking, but I'm not going to talk about backpacks and all that kind of stuff, just more of the things that will go inside the backpack or the roller. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is a hip pack or a fanny pack, but I have this one right here. I got this one at REI, and I honestly think fanny packs, hip packs, whatever you want to call them, like satchels that go around your waist, are a must with traveling. Not just international, but just traveling anywhere. This is kind of cool. It's kind of fun. It just has different, colors and all that kind of stuff. It has, just different like organizing pouches and stuff inside there. But mainly, I can put my passport in here, put my phone in here, chapstick, just kind of some essentials that are around my waist. Not only is it good for the plane, but it's also good when you actually get to your destination, because you go for a day hike or something like that. These are always handy to have. Now for the next bag, depending on your trip, this can actually go in your check-in as well, but for international flights, I usually like to take this stuff with me just in case my check-in bag is lost, and that is a toiletry bag. I have this one right here. I actually got this at REI as well, but it's a really cool one because it's, number one, it's small. I mean, when you put stuff in there, it gets a little bit bigger, but not much, because you can kind of cinch it down. But it's a hanging toiletry bag, and so you can kind of put this like over the shower head, or maybe some, wherever you're at, you can find a hook somewhere, and it kind of lays everything out for you. You can put like your loofah in there if you want even, but it has plenty of storage space. It actually has a mirror as well. That's like a Velcro kind of mirror, which is really cool too. But I love all the separation that it has, so in case there is leakage or something like that, at least it's leakage in certain departments, not the entire bag, if that makes sense. And I just love how it cinches down. You can even put it like on a carabiner or something like that as well. But this is really cool. And then probably one of the most important bags you can have on an international flight or any kind of flight. And not only that, if you don't remember anything else in this video, this is probably one of the most important things on a flight to bring, and that is called an in-seat or an on-seat or an on-person bag, whatever you want to call that. But it's a bag that it just stays with you next to your seat. So you can actually load this with like your chargers, load it with like your AirPods, load it with all kinds of things that you need for that long flight, so you're not having to constantly like either go down below or go up top to grab different things. It's just right next to you, especially if you're so fortunate to get in the middle seat on an international flight, which has happened to me a couple different times. It's a pain to have to constantly ask people, hey, I need to go back up here, I need to go down, it's just, or even trying to get down below to grab your bag, but having everything that you may think you need for the entire flight in this bad boy right here. It's just deep. It's basically just a huge pocket. It has one little pouch, a little separator pouch as well. But I love this guy, and it has saved my life having an in-seat bag. And I guess this is part of the bag family, and that is a wallet. I'll take a little wallet that has a zipper that you can put like maybe some cash in there, put some cards in there, that kind of a thing. I usually will rock one of these that just go on the back of my phone. But when I'm traveling, I like to have things a little bit more secure. For whatever reason, you're just kind of out of your routine, and so you want to just make sure that you're just thinking differently as far as your money goes. I love this because I can put it in my hip pack or something like that, or in my backpack, whatever, but it's just nice and secure, and I can just keep the monies and the ID and all that kind of stuff inside of this guy. Okay, moving on to the electronic category. The first thing on the list is over-the-ear headphones, and not only over-the-ear, but also noise cancellation headphones. I have the AirPod Max. I love these guys, and they're a must for especially international travel, because those, having something in your ear all the time, like in-ear headphones, they start cramping up, they start hurting. But I'll even put these on when I'm sleeping, listen to some lo-fi hip-hop or something like that, and just kind of drift off to sleep. And they're magic. Also, if I'm editing on the plane as well, this is crucial to have so I can actually hear. And what I love about these is some headphones when you're connected wirelessly with the Bluetooth, there's some kind of lag that's happening, especially when you're doing like precise editing. But with these, I haven't really found a problem with that too much. They're not bad, so I'm really liking that as well. And also AirPods, because sometimes I just don't want the bulky headphones on, especially if I'm wearing a hat or something like that. These are just a lot easier, and these are just a must. And depending on the flight, I will sometimes bring just some wired regular Apple headphones, and I usually bring them with the adapter so I can plug into my phone, but also it has this port as well, just a regular aux cord port, in case you want to listen to a movie that's on the TV or something like that. Just whatever. They're super light and they're small, and it's just easy to just bring just in case. Speaking of watching a movie on the airplane, I have this little guy called AirFly, which is fantastic because you can plug this guy in and it actually puts off like a Bluetooth connection, and you can put your headphones on, or any kind of Bluetooth headphones or AirPods or anything like that, and it will connect to it so you can actually watch the movies that are provided on the airplane. Now for external batteries, I bring two. I have the Apple one right here, which is awesome because it's wireless and you just slap it on right there and you're good to go. I love this guy. It's super easy, lightweight. But I also bring a bigger one so I can charge my iPad and also my phone too, because this will charge maybe like one time all the way through. This is gonna have multiple charges on it, so I will bring both. And also, when I'm at my destination, I love this one too because I can just put in my hip pack or my backpack or something like that if we're doing like a day trip, and this usually gets me through the day. And as far as charging my devices, I will obviously bring my cords and some extra bricks, but I also bring this little pad right here. It's really nice because I can charge my watch, and also I can place my phone to wireless charge right here, and you can close it by doing this, kind of sandwiches together, and it's just really easy to be able to put in your bag and call it good. This is something that Apple makes if you're looking for that. I also will bring an iPad or a MacBook Pro or both. This trip I'm gonna be taking pretty soon, I'm just gonna be taking my MacBook Pro. It's a 16-inch, it's big, but it's also a powerhouse, so I can do all my editing. But I think between my phone and my laptop, I'm gonna be good as far as watching movies and all that kind of stuff go. Now, I just picked this up at Target today to film this video, and that is a converter and worldwide adapter set. The one I did have on my last international trip, I left part of it and I broke part of it, so whatever. But I had to buy a new one, and I got this again at Target. It's cool because you can actually put USB in here as well. You can charge up to 3 devices at once, and so it's really crucial as far as when you're vlogging trips and things like that too, to be able to have as much outlets as possible. Now sometimes you can just check this. I like to carry this on just in case there's a layover or something happens when we are at an airport internationally or something like that. I just want to be able to plug my devices in if needed. Moving on to toiletries, this trip I'm actually going to be taking pretty much everything on my person, and I do that, I would say, man, 80% of the time when I do international travel, just in case my bag gets lost. I'm not gonna go through everything that I'm taking on this trip, but things that I take on most trips is gonna be my toothbrush. I got this guy from Target, just a nice little travel size toothbrush. I don't know, just a few bucks, but this is awesome. Next up are face and body wipes. These are called dude wipes, and they're energizing wipes as well, which are really cool. Kind of just refresh you a little bit. But when you're in the airplane or the airport for hours upon hours upon hours, especially international travel, this feels so good when you just wipe your face, wipe your body with it. You just feel refreshed. So this is a must. Next up is hand sanitizer, because germs. Also some melatonin. This is great because just trying to get on the right time zone so that way you're not jet lagged when you get there. These are a must. Next up is some Zip Fizz. It's like some immune support. This is great for traveling. You can get this at Costco, a lot of other places. Also like some emergency kind of stuff as well is really good. I also have some Tums just in case, because you know, airline food or whatever, and this has come in handy. I don't use it all the time, but sometimes you just need it, you know what I mean? And some tissues, because you know, tissues. And I always bring like a little first aid kit or something like that as well. I just picked this one up at Target. A little first aid to go, especially when you're traveling with kids or whatnot. It's just always good to have this just in case. I also bring in these little sample packs of Jack Black, and they're just different things. Like I have a energy scrub, like a face buff. I have a hand lotion and some just like face lotion. especially when you're wearing a mask and it's easy to break out and just get really dry. So having these are good for those long flights. The next up is just kind of like some miscellaneous kind of stuff. Obviously masks. I usually just wear paper masks, but I also bring 1 or 2 like cloth ones, just because they're a lot more comfortable. These are nice because I like to change them out quite a bit when they just get dirty, or just, you know what I'm talking about. And but this is nice to have one of these, especially when you're sleeping, and just because the bands are more comfortable. The next up, guys, is a eye mask. Now this is the thing, I don't like eye masks. I don't know why I don't like them. I always get really good sleep when I have them on, but I just choose not to wear them sometimes. But I bring it just in case, because the times I don't have it are the times that I wish I had it. But for the most part, even if I do bring it, I'm like, I don't know if I want to put it on. It's some weird thing, I guess, but they're good. Next up is passport, obviously. And also like a passport like wallet or sleeve or cover or bag or something like that. This is cool because you can put different things inside here, different cards. It's Neverland, which I love as well, from Peter Pan. But having something like this, sometimes you can get the ones that are kind of on a lanyard, that kind of like can go underneath your shirt. They have ones that you know can kind of go like on your waist as well. I usually just put this again in my hip pack and I call it good if I need that. I don't really like having things around my chest as far as like that big right here, so I like to just kind of keep this separate. Also, make copies of your passport as well and keep that in a separate bag, just in case this does get lost, you have at least a copy. Next up is wet ones. This is essential. Also, gear ties. These are great for all of your different cords, kind of ties them up really nice, keeps them all organized and not tangled. Next up is gum. This is essential, especially for me. I have sensitive ears as far as when we go like takeoff or landing, and so being able to put some gum in and kind of chomp down when that occurs is awesome. And when you're having like an international flight and you're sleeping and your mouth is open and all dry and everything like that, and you're just conked out, putting some gum in your mouth is going to just, everyone who you're traveling with is gonna appreciate you for that. Next up is some chapstick, because chapstick. I love Burt's Bees, because it has a little tingling feeling when you slather this on your lips. Something that I love bringing on, yes, international, but also just really any flight, is sliders. Sometimes I'll actually just wear sliders for the entire flight, but these are just awesome to be able to let your feet kind of breathe a little bit and just be a little more comfortable. And some socks. Make sure you bring an extra pair of socks. Also, underwear, and I also like to bring extra t-shirt as well for international travel. And next up is a notebook and a pencil or pen to write with. I love having a notebook when I'm traveling, if that's to write down just kind of some ideas, some inspiration, to journal, whatever. But it seems like when I do travel, I do get inspired by certain things, if that's culture, if that's whatever, so I want to write about it, or maybe I just get filled with amazing ideas I want to write down that I don't forget. And so having something that's kind of small that can just put in your backpack or your fanny pack or something like that is super necessary. And lastly is a neck pillow. This is an essential for especially international travel, especially if you're in that middle seat. But if you want to get some sleep, which I suggest you do to make sure your body is adjusting to the right time zone that you're going to be entering in, this is an essential. Well guys, that pretty much wraps it up. There's some other things I didn't mention, like Excedrin and ibuprofen and all that kind of stuff as well, and kind of like those foundational pieces. But these are some other things that I just feel like are one of those things that I think are just a must when you're international traveling. Now, this is the thing, if I forgot something and you're like, hey Justin, you need to make sure you bring this, please let me know in the comments below, because I love adding things to my like travel essential list, if you will. And look out for Lacey's video too, because again, that will give you just a different kind of perspective. And hopefully I didn't miss anything. It's always hard to remember stuff when you're shooting a video, but I guess this is kind of the bigger things that are a must. Anyways guys, I'm actually headed to Israel in about 3 weeks, and so if you haven't subscribed, please do that, because you can follow along with those vlogs. Also, I'm gonna do some packing stuff that's going to be kind of catered to Israel as well. So look out for those. But anyways guys, thank you so much. Love ya, and talk to you soon. As I was sitting here editing, I realized I forgot to talk about a water bottle. So bring a water bottle as well. Okay, cool, bye.